Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome back to Let's Play Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Prophecy in another auto mission. This time, it is a purge. Last time we had a demonic incursion, but the only good part here is it's against Nurgle demons as well, like those enemies. And I have to tell you, we faced in the last episode a Nurgle Hellbrute, and that was, for a change, a very good change. Okay. A septic filtration facility was found to be the nexus of a mutant cult, worshipping the ruinous powers. Infestation level Omega. Okay, that's new. Immediate sanitation required. Well, I don't know whether it is actually new, but I haven't read that too often. Okay, orders: cleanse the facility with extreme prejudice.
Between the stars, the ancient unseen enemies of mankind wait and hunger. Be strong and give them no quarter.
Okay, we will try. Compared to the last episode, to the last mission, it feels a teensy a little bit harder, but you can actually, I think it is just because it has the power rating level is 83. But we are actually 83 as well, so it should not be more difficult than the last episode. So 2 plague ridden, and that was nice since they did not get out the AoE spell. I think, I'm not certain, they were actually aiming at us, so that is never a good thing to happen. Come on, let's bring that plague ridden down. It always actually feels like a waste of time to shoot with this weapon on single targets. Maybe I'm in that point just a little bit lazy, to be honest, that I don't want to switch the weapon at this point when I'm fighting a singular enemy, but maybe that is actually what I should do. And in the other moments when we do fight like here 3 enemies, that shot is absolutely worth it, since I'm hitting all 3 of them, and that is always worth the time, so to say. On it goes, on it goes, on it goes. A couple of enemies still remain, but they should be no problemo at all. Alright, okay, come on. There was a nice little explosion, and I of course did go through a skull. I don't know how I could get used to just paying attention to them traps and actually not walk through them as often as I do. I tend to I should watch other Inquisitor streams for a change and actually take a look at whether other guys walk through them bloody skulls as often as I do. That is a little bit annoying, I can tell ya. But luckily, if I remember correctly, when they implemented the traps, they were actually most times teleporting in only reinforcing units, which is in most cases unimportant. But in Purge it is actually quite important, since you desperately need to kill all of the enemies, and those newly summoned enemies of course count to the overall enemy size, force size. Okay, increased movement speed. Not the most worth spell, but in a situation like that where you are facing a Nurgle Dreadnought, it is not the most amazing buff to get. You could of course argue, if you would not face the Dreadnought right now and could easily take down the Horde, we could have been quicker at the next enemy formation, but well, we gotta deal with that. And the Dreadnought is surprisingly that this guy has oftentimes. I'm going to switch the weapon to deal a little bit more damage. It's always quite surprising that this guy is able to do that amount of damage. That is always a little surprising, but well, gotta deal with that. Only 85. Yes, 85 is the number there. 33,000 HP remaining, which is quite good. of course, what makes this, not only the HP is quite nifty on this guy, but the elite and armor, I assume, is the nasty part. What would be really, really cool if we could take some buffs from the Void Crusade with us. There's...
The Emperor protects.
Oh yeah, there's actually a buff for the Course of the Void Crusade where you are getting more damage against Chaos Engines, and that overall I think in the last Crusade, which we actually failed, shame on me, where we were at 7% plus damage against... Oh my goodness, that is bad. So there you can see the power of the AoE spell, where you got 7%, where we got 7% to our plus damage against engines, and or Chaos Engine to be very, very precise, since they are of course Xenos engines as well, which is then very, very helpful. So we have a other enemy here as well. We nearly died, nice. And I assume, okay, it is a Plague or a Standard Bearer as well. So not the most annoying enemy here, but through the summoning powers, of course, a enemy which we should not underestimate. So that is that. So Plague Ridden down, that is quite nice. Unbound Radar down, and still a couple of guys here, but they do not stay for long. Okay, Reborn Warlock, let's take them down, because I always, with their spell, with their psychic spell, I always have the feeling that the longer they channel the spell on you, the more damage it is dealing to you. It is just a feeling, I can't prove it, I haven't read it up, but it always feels like the ability. If you have played StarCraft 2, you might remember them Void Race, that is what they were called. And I think the ability there over time changed, especially with the plus damage against hard targets, or don't remember that completely, but the damage, the spell, the weapon did deal more damage over time until a certain spot. Of course, the longer it was actually channeling, focusing on one enemy, and that was quite cool. Or to be precise, not on one enemy. Once it has been charged up, it could fire with that amount of damage on a second, a third, a fourth target. So a wonderful weapon it was against them carriers. And what I think is, balancing is always a big part in most games. It's actually in every game, I guess, balancing. And with that saying, it's not that is what the point I actually wanted to make. It's not, of course, always balancing in multiplayer, games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, etc. The weapons balancing is always a quite important part for the community manager. But if I remember what for unfair things there have been in StarCraft 2, the Vortex Toilet was absolutely amazing. I don't even know how they actually overall, I think they fixed that by that targets which are leaving the mothership's vortex are cannot be targeted, but you could basically take down a whole Zerg army with a couple of Archons and a mothership. That was quite insane. And a ideal spot for us, since all of those guys are running into us and not all of them can attack, and the AoE damage is doing well. Okay, okay. So now that I see the increase the damage by 15% buff there, we have actually found a new arm. I need to take down the traps. I was actually thinking about switching the armor, since it switching our armor, since it had 5 more armor and I think 3 more plus resist. But in the end we would have lost this wonderful spell which stacks up, where we do more damage with the next shot, and it stacks up I think to around 300. But I don't 100% know the condition. Is it actually written down here? Okay, strong versus armored. Okay, no, I don't know. But that is the fun fact if I switch to it. And that is when you do not pay attention. Shame on me again. But still, we can die 2 more times. We have killed most of them enemies, so that is just fine. Let's summoning all those guys again. Let me actually check something. Single attack, single enemy, physical dot delivers 3-shot bursts to the target. Okay, that is the surprising thing. With the AoE damage type weapon, I always had the feeling, and there you can see how different your feelings from the real game, from the in-game mechanics can be. I always had the feeling that we are not dealing that large amount of damage to armor targets like this guy normally is, the Reborn Marauder. No, it's actually not really a armor target, but at least against Dreadnoughts, for example, I always have the feeling we are not doing really large amounts of damage, and I always had the feeling if we switch to the other weapon, to the poison weapon, that we tend to deal more damage to armored enemies. I could have sworn that. But sometimes we can be very wrong, but overall we are nearly at the end of this mission. Will do, will do. Sachi Blake only the Blake, no, actually that I don't even know what I wanted to say. I wanted to say only the Blake Ogden remains, but that was actually a little bit wrong. I should fall at least a little bit back. And then to the Reborn Marauder it goes, and he is quickly taken down. Neat. And those guys are gone as well. Nice, nice, nice. I will, just because we are just walking past it, I will take the buff. It is damage reductions for by 20%, and I guess for our little construct it is a tinsy little bit helpful. Not much, but well, what else? It is something which helps out. That is all I can say there. But as you can see how quickly they have been actually taken down there. Not nice, not nice. Okay, we have some Plague Ridden still remaining. Please don't attack me, and not both of them, please, attacking me with the special attack, but only one remains, and that is actually the last enemy.
Once again, the enemies of the Imperium failed miserably.
As usual, and that, guys, is overall the end of this episode. And you know it, I, as usual, really thank you for watching. If you guys actually do have enjoyed this episode, then please give me a little thumbs up and subscribe, and hopefully I see ya, beautiful people, in the next episode. Until then, have a nice day, stay frosty, bye.